I was curious to understand more, Jordan, about your perspective on why you wanted to create the BJJ theory course. So a lot of what you teach is conceptual. A lot of what you teach is like, lack of a better word, concepts rather than just pure technique. And we've seen that trend on your latest videos, and the community is responding to them really well. One such example is like your passing concepts video. The most common mistakes at white belt, even though like some of them are technique based, is vast majority of concepts. So what has spurred this shift that you've had over the last couple of years toward focusing on conceptual jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think like I just kind of could see like commonalities in like everything of like how these things relate, and kind of realizing like how hard it is for people to learn jiu-jitsu. And in my mind, jiu-jitsu is a lot simpler than people make it out. I think I've been training so long too, I got a really good eye for it. So like I can really see, and like the more I break down grappling footage of like my own and other people's, it's like you just see more and more, and nothing surprises you after a while. You just understand exactly what's happening, right? And because I can understand it so well, I can explain it really well. And I think that like there's the difference between concepts and techniques is that concepts are the why, technique is the how, but like there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? There's a lot of hows. So people might get confused or like not learn as good because they learn like you do it this exact way, but like, there's so many different ways. So like if you learn the why, you can just do what is right at the appropriate moment, right? So
it's easier to learn the how, right?
Yeah.
So if you understand the foundation of why something needs to be done or should be prioritized, then when you learn the how, it would be easier to understand, right?
When you're on the why, exactly. That's 100% it. It's like with anything, it's like for me, like the way my mind works, I need to know the why. I have ADHD. I'm like 100% confident I do, and even though my doctor thinks I'm bipolar, I'm not. So at least as far as I'm aware, it's ADHD, but god damn it, he won't get it into his freaking brain. It's all right though. But so the way my mind works, it's like I can't think of the how for things for like too long, so my mind shifts away, right? Yeah. So I need things very simplified, right? I had a hard time learning jiu-jitsu in the beginning. Like I would go, like they would like, okay, I was decent right away, but what I mean is like learning technique, I would like go back after the instructor taught and I would forget everything and hope that my training partner was paying attention, because I would be drifting off into space or whatever, right? So like, learning the why is so much easier because the why can be said in like, a sentence, and my brain can like, last that long, thankfully, but it can't last that long for like how like all these freaking steps, right? And I just think in general, like, I hate sometimes saying stuff like this because it sounds like I'm like, holier than thou, but I think a lot of instructors overcomplicate the shit out of jiu-jitsu, and it becomes like unintentionally gatekeeping, where it's like these people aren't ever going to get good because they're so confused, right? So I also think that's why my channel has done so well, because I just explain it in simple terms, because the reality is jiu-jitsu is way more simple than people make it out to be. It's not this mystical thing that like, especially old school people, especially like to drive into, lower belts' heads that they're this like mystical person and like this like wise sage or whatever. And like, they're giving this like magic to people. No, like our bodies work a certain way, and I'm showing people how it works. It's like, you can only do so many things with your arms and your legs. You can grip, frame, or close space, which you're going to learn in the jiu-jitsu theory. And when you understand that, it becomes easier, because this is a great example too. Like we talked about earlier, discipline. Like I can be in half guard. I'm not thinking I got to do this technique or that technique. I'm just relaxed, being disciplined with my grips, with my body positioning. And then I'm going to take what's available, if I can take an underhook, whatever it is, right? But like, if I didn't know what I need to do to be disciplined, I was only thinking of the techniques, which happens for a lot of lower belts, I would be overwhelmed and like, and then start making mistakes, right? Because it's like, okay, I'll go for this sweep I learned from my professor or my instructor, right? Well, what if it's not available? What if you can't get that grip or whatever, right? But there's another grip available. So yeah, jiu-jitsu is just so overcomplicated by people, and it is actually really simple.